got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. And our friendship will never end. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I forgot the lyrics. Go to song though. Go to song. So Toy Story 5 just got released, or it's been released for a couple days now. But let's just talk about some Toy Story movies, starting with.
You got a friend in me.
What can I generally say that hasn't been said about Toy Story 1? It's iconic. It's revolutionary. It changed the way the animation was perceived in cinema. Like generally, this movie literally changed cinema. Like it was the first 3D animated movie of all time. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't look rough for today's standards. Yeah, it looks a little rough at times, but it doesn't change the fact that it was the first 3D animated movie of all time. And it actually doesn't even look that bad. Like honestly, if you ask me, it actually doesn't look too bad. Like it does look kind of rough at times. Yeah, it kind of does, but it's very like the animation. Yeah, it's outdated, but it's actually not bad for its time. Like it's actually not that bad. The fact that they were able to do this back in like 1995 is generally insane because it's actually not that bad, and it actually does look kind of good for today's standards. Okay, maybe I'm lying, but still, it looks good if you ask me. Even as a kid, I never really thought the animation ever looked bad. It just looked outdated. But like even then, it's not exactly like bad animation. One of the best things about like Toy Story, the first one, is not just the voice acting, it's not just Woody and Buzz, it's not just all the like smart jokes with.
Present. It appears to be. Okay, it's bed change.
Who invited that kid?
It's a Potato Head and Piggy or Rex. The best part about it really is just the story. Like the story is it's very simple. It's not that complex. It's a very simple story. But that simple story, I think, made it so good. Especially with Buzz. I think this is like Buzz's best film in terms of like his role. I really like his role in two, but in this one, I feel like it's the one that he really gets the time to actually shine and actually gets a bit of an arc. Something that he doesn't really get ever again. I don't think. Because I don't think Buzz ever goes to another arc on this level like he did on the first movie. Even Woody, like he goes to like a small arc. He does go through an arc in this movie, but his big arc wasn't into Toy Story first 4. So Buzz's big arc was in the first movie, and his arc was generally the best for me. My favorite part of the movie was Buzz's arc in this movie. Like the scene where Buzz realizes he's a toy, the scene where he walks in on the on the living room and he watches a commercial and realizing that he's a toy is generally one of the best scenes in cinema. Like you can literally see in real time him realizing that his purpose, his life's purpose, everything he knows, everything that he wants to, he's living his life by right now, of him being a space ranger and him being sent on a mission and realizing that's actually not real. I'm not a space ranger. I'm not being sent on a secret mission, and that he's actually a toy is truly a heartbreaking scene because his life's purpose and everything that he knows is actually not real. He's actually just a toy. He's just a toy and not a cool space ranger. And the fact that even after he sees a commercial, he still tries to fly after that. Like he doesn't believe it. He doesn't want to believe it. But even then, he still tries. He still jumps off the balcony, hoping that he can fly, hoping that it's not true, that he's not just a toy, only to fall down and get his arm broken and realize that, yeah, he really is just a toy. That is generally heartbreaking because it tells 1,000 words in just one scene. Not a single like actual like dialogue is spoken through that whole sequence, except for like the commercial.
Do you read me?
But that whole sequence of him just going through that, oh my goodness, it's generally just so amazing. And the song playing through, oh my, generally like these Toy Story movies generally do make you cry. Did I cry watching it? No, I never cried. But like, it generally makes you feel the emotions in this. Like you generally feel for Buzz in that moment. You really do. Woody in this movie is also really good. The only problem is that he really is a bit of an a-hole in this movie. Like I remember there was this like a version of Toy Story 1 where Woody was even a bigger a-hole. I saw like a video of that. It actually made me scared of Woody because
I have to agree with them. I don't think what you did was right.
What? Am I hearing correctly? You don't think I was right? Who said your job was to think, Spring Wiener?
Well, I just thought that
use
you...
this vast reserve of brain power to consider this for a moment. If it wasn't for me, Andy wouldn't pay any attention to you at all. In fact, my sketchy friend, you would have been hauled away to Goodwill a long time ago, so shut your mouth and get them off the bed. Do it. Now, Slink, or I'm throwing you off!
Woody was generally terrifying in whatever version they had for this one. And you can still see like that version of Woody still got like little squeeze, just very squeezed into this one. Because there are moments when Woody is an actual piece of crap. Like Woody's an actual ego sometimes. That he generally sucks sometimes. He's generally a terrible person in this movie at times. It's not until the end we finally get that arc. But when he almost killed Buzz, generally evil Woody right there showing off, bro. Evil Woody, bro. Woody was generally almost evil in this movie. Loki, you don't even notice the amount of stuff he was doing. But at the same time, I don't think Woody was ever this tough ever again. Like, Woody in this movie was low-key kind of tough. Was he evil? Yes, but he was low-key tough. Like, I won't lie, he was moving crazy in this movie. Woody never got this type of emotion ever again, like, ever in, like, any movie after this. The only one that comes close is maybe Toy Story 3, because, like, in that one, he's, like, I feel like that one, he felt like the leader of the group, That one, he really just tries to take everything together, but he didn't really have, like, motion the way he does here. Like, he literally tries to assassinate Buzz. He's the leader of the toys. He's cracking jokes like crazy. I think this is also, like, Woody's funniest movie. There's so many jokes in this movie that Woody has that are generally hilarious, and stuff that he says is generally just funny. Like, generally just hilarious stuff, Woody.
You stay away from Andy. He's mine, and no one is taking him away from me. What are you talking about? Shut up! Shut up! You! What are you talking about? I'm lost. I'm lost. Andy's gone. Give me a hand. That's very funny. Serious. You and some of your stupid little cockroach fish take away everything that was important to me. So the from son to kill. Right. Everyone's acts. We can play the dead. I'm responsible for the lane running with Starman. You are a toy! You're a Buzz Lightyear! Come on, action figure! You are a child plaything! You actually think you're the Buzz Lightyear? Oh, all this time I thought I was an act. Hey guys, look! It's the real Buzz Lightyear! Even though I don't think it's Woody's best movie, I think Woody's best movie still is 4, because 4 it generally does have like Woody's like
I think that one just gives him the bigger arc than this one because from this one, Woody goes from being a bit of an a-hole to not being an a-hole and accepting Buzz as his friend, right? But in Toy Story 4, he questions his life's purpose and all that, and I'm gonna get to that 4 when I get to it. But Woody in this movie was still goated. The voice acting, obviously, one of the best, and yeah, Woody was goated in this movie. Even though he was a bit of an a-hole, he was still goated. Obviously, Sid wouldn't be their first, I guess, Toy Story villain. If you really think about it, Toy Story don't really have a lot of villains. Like they have like antagonists, but they're not really villains. Like Sid, he's not really a villain. He's just like the problem that the toys deal with for this movie. He's really just a problem that they deal with. He's not like a villain, you know. But Sid was still goated. Like Sid was low key a cool villain. He's like the only human villain out of the 5 films, and I think he was dope. Like I think he worked for the movie. Like he generally worked. Him being like this kid who just grabs a bunch of toys and just does whatever and kind of just you know. And in his mind, he doesn't know they're alive, so he's not like he doesn't know like he's actually torturing these toys. But in his mind, they're like it's kind of like innocent in his mind, right? But it's not until like we as the audience know that these toys are alive and they're actually like suffering and all that, so it makes Sid look like Loki like an evil person. But like other than that, Sid was Loki a cool villain. I think Sid was cool. Him being also like technically the first. I guess Toy Story 2 kind of, but even him, I wouldn't say he was the main villain. I would say the other guy was the main villain. But I don't think Toy Story 2 had like a human villain. I think it was just like a human. He was just kind of there. You don't think he was a villain. I think Sid was more of a villain. But Sid. But yeah, Sid's goated, bro. All my homies love Sid, bro. There's not much I can really say about Toy Story 1 that hasn't been said before. It's magnificent. It's great. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, there's nothing I can say that hasn't been said. So that's all really, I guess, I want to say. I love Buzz's arc. I love Woody in this. Even though he's a bit like, he's goated still. Sid was dope. And everybody, like, the side characters obviously are still funny as like always. It's a great movie. It's a 9 out of 10 movie. It's a simple story, but it's still very effective in the way that it's told. I love this movie. And the ending, gosh, that ending actually makes me so nostalgic. I've seen this movie so many times as a kid, and that ending always gets me. That ending where I even made a TikTok video about it, but and they're trying to make it home. They're trying to make it to the bus. They're trying to make it to Andy as they're moving away. And then they almost don't. And then Woody lights up the rocket, and they fly off. And the car toy hits the truck. And then Woody's like, "Yo, we missed the truck." And then Buzz is like, "We're not going to the truck." And then they land on Andy, and Andy just hugs his toys. That crap. Even as a kid, bro, I would just love that because I love toys. Like as a kid, I always loved toys. I always asked my mom for toys. I remember going to Toys R Us for my birthday, trying to get like a birthday present and all that. So every time I saw that movie and every time I saw that ending, it really just hits us like the way Andy embraces his toys. It's just so good, man. Like it really is just so good. It's just so good, man. Like it really is. And the dialogue that Woody and Buzz have is all good too. Like when they're flying and Woody's like, Buzz, we're flying. And then Buzz says, "No, Woody, this is flying with style." That is such a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful callback to the beginning of the movie, and it's just so dope seeing them do that. Like it's just it's technically flying, but like it really isn't because he's not. He really is flying with style. It's just such a beautiful moment. Like it really is just a beautiful ending. 10 out of 10 ending. 9 out of 10 movie. Honestly, I don't know why I don't give it a 10. I think maybe it is just a little bit too short. Maybe could have had a little bit more. But any animation obviously just a little bit outdated. But you can't really blame it on the movie. But I love that movie. I love that scene so much that when they mentioned in Toy Story 5 again, I generally had a big smile on my face, bro. That was generally such a cool moment. But yeah, overall, there's nothing I can say much more about Toy Story 5. It's great. It just is. Yeah. Another movie I've seen countless of times as a kid. Toy Story 1 or 2. I think I had them on DVD, which is why I rewatched these a lot. I don't know if I had Toy Story 3. I know I used to watch it a lot too, but not as much as 1 and 2. I don't know. Maybe it's just because maybe it came out a little bit. No, even then it's like,
Nope.
I don't know. I don't think I had Toy Story 3 on DVD as a kid. That's probably why I just didn't rewatch it as much. But I remember rewatching Toy Story 1 and 2 a bunch of times. Those movies are literally integrated into my brain. So I know those movies in and out basically. Toy Story 3, I also do know in and out, but not as much because I just didn't rewatch that one as a kid as much. But on to Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 is one of those movies that it just improves on the sequel and just goes bigger and goes better and is just as good, if not better. Toy Story 2 is better than the first one. Toy Story 2 is great. Toy Story 2 is one of the best sequels of all time. Toy Story 2 is really incredible. Toy Story 2 is really amazing. If you can tell, I really like Toy Story 2. Now, onto the things that I really liked about it. Toy Story 2 also really has one of my favorite jokes is, "You say it does, we are eternally grateful," and then bring it back for 3. Oh, what is such a beautiful moment in 3 too. But yeah, it's such a cool joke too. Like, Toy Story 2 is so funny, bro. One thing I really love about Toy Story 2, I just love the fact that the side characters are given more to do. Well, whether it's just given a lot more to do, like Rex, Mr. Potato Head, Piggy, and the little alien buddies that we get introduced to, and Buzz, like that whole thing of when they go try and find Woody. All of their scenes were just so hilarious. Like Piggy and Mr. Potato Head have some of the funniest lines in movies, bro.
Thank you.
I'm a marriage spud. I'm a marriage spud. I'm a marriage spud.
for that single fellas.
lines are genuinely freaking hilarious, bro. And it makes me so sad that after like two, we barely see them anymore. Like they were barely in three. They had like two lines in two and four, and in five they had like one line, two lines. Like they are so funny to me. I genuinely just love more of them because they're freaking hilarious. And Toy Story 2 proves that they are so funny together. They're just so funny, bro. Piggy and Mr. Potato Head are goated, bro. They're so hilarious, which is why I love this movie because they have a bigger role in it because it's just so funny. I don't know, they're just so funny to me. And bro, the animation from Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 2 is generally not a big difference. Like, if you told somebody in 2010 that Toy Story 2 came out like in 2011, I think a lot of people would believe you because the animation in Toy Story 2 is actually really good. Like, it's actually way better than Toy Story. It's a night and day difference. It is so much more detailed. It is so much more clean, and it's so much more advanced. I guess, yeah, it's more advanced because the technology obviously got better. But it's just night and day difference of how the animation just looks so much better. No, I think the villain in this movie has always kind of been kind of weak for me. It's not that I don't like him, but I just don't think that he was probably one of my least favorite Toy Story villains for sure. It's just that honestly, it's just I don't know why. I do like him. It's just I just don't see like I don't know. I just didn't see him as like a big threatening villain. I know it sounds like kind of weird because it's a Toy Story movie. Like of course the villain is not going to be really threatening, but like Toy Story 3 kind of proves that these villains can be threatening. Even a little bit of Toy Story 4, I think the villain there was a bit threatening at times, but not all the way, of course, because I would talk about her in Toy Story 4. But Toy Story 2, I feel like the villain just wasn't like developed as much as like Lotso or even Toy Story 4 villain. I think he was just kind of like he serves his purpose. I think he's just there to like really just serve the purpose and to make Woody question like his purpose. About like Andy is gonna grow up, Andy's gonna leave me behind and all that. But yeah, I think he's not bad, but I just don't think that he was like great. But he was decent though. He's really good. Woody in this movie is also really good. I love that scene when he realizes he was actually like a famous like TV show. Really cool scene. It's a really nice scene. I love that scene. And I would say this movie kind of lays the groundwork for his arc in Toy Story 4, which is about like him like questioning his purpose about being a toy and how Andy is gonna grow up and like probably move on with his life and put Woody behind. And it questions like Woody questions whether being a toy really is that great. Well, he should be a toy again, or if he could just live a new life as a collectible, just sit on a shelf and having people look at him. Yeah, I mean, he questions that, and I think that's actually really good because it lays the groundwork for Toy Story 4. A lot of people say that Toy Story 4 Woody just fell out of character, but no, this has been like said since Toy Story 2. Like Woody's been questioning his purpose and questioning whether he should be a toy, like he's the way he's been for the last couple of years since Toy Story 2. Like he almost literally went to Japan. He was so close to just deciding to leave his friends behind and going back. He was really close to it. So the fact that it gets to a point in Toy Story 4, for me, it makes sense why he did what he did in Toy Story 4. I know a lot of people say, look up, man, I'll make it Toy Story 4 when I get to Toy Story 4. Right now we're talking about Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2, Woody was good in this movie. He's always good in every single movie. But I think in this one he really shines because just that scene where he realizes who he actually is. He's Woody the cowboy. He had a TV show. He had a horse. He had a friend. He had a mentor, I think, right? A really solid scene. Like, really just great scene. Buzz is also really good, and the fake Buzz is also really funny. The dude was hilarious. I don't know. And that start scene when he realizes he's like a Star Wars reference scene. Peak scene, of course, peak scene. Also, I think this is actually the funniest Toy Story movie. I think Toy Story 2 just has the funniest moments in any movie. Of course, it's because Piggy and Mr. Potato Head do take a bigger role, so I think that's what makes it even funnier. But it generally just is the funniest Toy Story movie. I don't think the older Toy Story movie generally can make me laugh or chuckle or smile as much as this one, because this one just has so many funny moments and it just make you go like just laugh or just smile or chuckle, because there's really just a lot of moments in this that just make you laugh, that just make you smile, because the movie is just like that throughout the whole movie. Like, there's so many moments that just made me laugh. The jokes, everything just lands. This is the funniest Toy Story movie. I think that maybe it's not the best. I think most of us can agree that 3 is the best, but I think all of us can agree that 2 is definitely the funniest one. And also, we also got introduced to Bosa and Jesse in this movie, and the scene where Jesse is telling her origin story is a beautiful scene. The music, the way everything, like the way we go from her owner, Emily, playing with Jesse, and then to being put on the bed for years, and then her growing up and probably becoming an annoying teenager because all the teenagers are annoying. Loki hate them. I'm a teenager, but still, I low-key hate teenagers. But yeah, her becoming a teenager, her growing up and leaving Jesse behind, and then Jesse just being thrown away, it generally made you feel bad for Jesse. And it made you question, oh, wow, did Emily ever care for Jesse? Or, like, all those moments and all that, like her growing up and playing with her, and then only for her to be thrown away. And the fact that Toy Story 5 actually kind of brought that back generally made it so good for me. That's why I actually like Toy Story 5. But spoiler alert, yeah, I like Toy Story 5 because it brought that back. It made Jesse, like, it brought that back of, like, did Emily or, like, an owner actually care for a toy? Would an owner, like, does an owner actually, like, care for a toy? Like, does it matter to him? Does it matter to him or her? And the fact that Toy Story 5 answered that, yes, the toy matters to a person. I just thought it was really good. I thought that was really good. But yeah, again, there's not much I can say because everybody can agree Toy Story 2 is really great. Like, it's really great. Like, it's funny. The action and everything is brought up to way higher. It's times two from compared to the second one. The action, the story, everything is much bigger. It's much more grand, bigger than the second one, basically. Like, yeah, it is, and even probably even better, if not just as good, if not better than Toy Story 1. So it's a fantastic sequel. It almost makes you think of like how are they gonna top this? Like, generally, I remember being in that theater when Toy Story 2 came out, wondering how could they possibly top Toy Story 3? Like, how could they possibly make something that is actually just as good as these two, if not even better, but if not just as good, and like tops off the trilogy and it's this trilogy. Like I remember that when Toy Story 2 came out, bro. I just remember the discussion about that. It's like, what are they gonna do with Toy Story 3? Like, how are they gonna possibly top this? And they topped this with Toy Story 3. Yes, Toy Story 3 is the best Toy Story movie. And yes, if you count the original Toy Story trilogy, it is probably the greatest trilogy of all time. It really, truly is. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a trilogy where the third one is actually the best one. Like all the trilogies that come up to my head. Oh, actually, you know what? I think the Planet 8 trilogy. If you ask me, I think the third one is the best one. Maybe I think that's a hot take, but I think for me the third one of Planet of the Apes is the best one. But the thing is, it's hard to find a trilogy where most people can agree that the third one is the best one. Because as much as for me the Planet of the Apes, the third one is the best one, like the War for Planet of the Apes, a lot of people don't think. A lot of people still think that Dawn is the best one. I love Dawn, but for me, War just hit it a little different. But yeah, Toy Story 3, the ending, that was just beautiful. Like genuinely, yes, it's that good. Like it really is that good. The ending and even the opening montage, it's all so cool and it's all so good. And the opening scene of like or when in any time imagination was also really cool. Like everything about this movie just works. There's almost nothing I can generally say that I didn't like. I don't know. There's nothing that I can say. Like generally, I don't know. Maybe I wish it was longer. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I wish we maybe I already don't think. Maybe I wish it was a little bit longer. But like other than that, it truly is just 10 out of 10. Like I think I don't give movies 10 out of 10. Like I actually do not give movies 10 out of 10. The max I will almost ever do was a 9. But a 10 for me, bro, when I give something a 10, it deserves that 10. It earned that 10 because this movie just, I could only imagine what it would have been like in that theater for people who grew up in the movies seeing this movie like for the first time. Like I generally, especially that incinerator scene. Oh my, that scene when they're all holding hands, about to embrace their fate as they're about to literally die, is generally heartbreaking because. And you just like because they're trying to free themselves still, they're trying to escape, they're trying to live, but it's not until they realize we're cooked. Literally, there's nothing we can do. This is our last time together as toys, as friends, and they hold hands. Oh my, that is generally such a beautiful moment. Like these are toys. They're not human beings. They're toys, and they're about to die, and they realize that, and they hold hands together, and they embrace each other one last time. What a generally just a beautiful scene that is. Like generally, what a beautiful scene. This movie just has so many beautiful scenes. From the opening montage with Andy growing up, the incinerator scene, the ending. Like it's so good. Like the villain, like Lotso, the villain. Hold on, I'm gonna get to Lotso later. We're still talking about just Toy Story 3 as in general. It's so good, and the fact that the movie's a heist too, trying to like escape from Lotso's like prison camp basically, generally amazing. Everything about this movie just works. Just I don't think there's anything for me that just didn't work. Like generally, there is almost nothing that you can say about this movie that was bad. Like I don't know what to say. Like I generally don't know. I generally wish I could go back in time and watch this movie open at night, filled with people who grew up in the first two. Because I could only imagine their reaction to everything that happened in this movie. Because this movie really felt like the end. It really did. Like it really feels like the end. And it should have been the end. Yeah, it probably should have been. But I still like 4 and 5. So hey, but yeah, it feels like a gut punch every time. Like every scene is just trying to gut punch you and gut punch you, trying to make you cry. Like just the opening, bro. Like the opening. On my rewatch, the opening generally made me almost tear up. Like I was just sitting there like, bro, like it generally that good. For me, it hits even harder. The fact that I'm now ending age. Like for most of my life, I was watching these movies up into I was like when I was a kid, an actual kid. I was like a child. I was watching rewatch of Toy Story. I was rewatching Toy Story 1 and 2 as a kid, and 3 obviously, and 4. And even if 4 came out, I was still only like 4 came out right before I entered middle school. So I still very much like I was still very young when 4 came out. I haven't watched like I don't think I've seen a Toy Story movie. Oh, actually, I didn't watch the first Toy Story movie a couple years back, but I didn't watch the other ones. But I don't know. These movies just for me, these movies always hit different. For me, but now that I'm in this age, just the fact that I've graduated high school now, the fact that I'm growing up in my life basically, and I'm growing up and I'm having to deal with things now, and I have to go through things and adult things and all that. Listen, I didn't stop playing with toys till I was like 16. No joke. February of 2024 was the last time I played with toys when I was 16 years old. Is that normal? I don't know, but that was the last time I remember getting on my bed, grabbing all my toys, and just letting my imagination go wild, and just grabbing this figure, and just have them go at each other, and just put a story behind that. That was the last time I did that. 2 years ago, I was 16 years old, right? Probably a lot older than when Andy stopped playing. But so now, watching this movie, it really just hit different, especially the ending. Especially the ending. Seeing Andy just play with his toys one last time before he heads off to a new chapter of his life, his adult chapter growing up now. Oh, what a beautiful ending, especially knowing that basically I'm technically Andy now. I like as a kid, I was Andy from Toy Story 1 and 2, but now I'm Andy from Toy Story 3. I'm no longer Andy from Toy Story 1. I'm no longer Andy like from Toy Story 1 and 2 as a kid watching these movies. Now I'm Andy as an adult getting ready to go to college, getting ready to work, getting ready to do this and that and grow up in his life. That I no longer have time to play with toys. No joke, I actually do get the thought sometimes of just getting that box of toys and just start playing with them. Do I want to? I kind of do, but like there's just no time almost, And honestly, yeah, I'm not ashamed of like wanting to play with toys. I think that playing with toys is cool, but I just if I could ever just find the time to actually do it, so I definitely will. So let's talk about the best villain that the Toy Story franchise has to offer. Lotso the bear. Back then, in the marketing and the posters, he looks so cute and adorable. He looks so. Look how happy he looks in this poster. I don't think I've ever. That is Lotso propaganda right there. Because Lotso was never this happy in the movie. Lotso was an evil bear, bro. The scene where we get his origin story is so freaking. Okay, one, I find it to be hilarious, but two, is it's a really great, beautiful scene. Like it really is. Like the way it starts off, I just find it funny to me. Like Woody is like, "Oh yeah, I escaped from Sunnyside," and the toys are like, "How did you escape?" And Woody's like, "What do you mean escape? Oh, Sunnyside is ruled by an evil bear named Lotso who smells of strawberries." I don't know why I find that funny. But then they're like, oh, the clown doll thing, which by the way terrified me as a kid. The clown doll thing, he knows of Lotso. But then the guy's like, yeah, I knew Lotso. Like, so I don't know why that is just so funny to me. Like I don't know why it's funny to me. But yeah, Lotso basically, and then we after that we transition into Lotso's origin story, villain origin story, basically, which just don't know why I find it funny. But anyway, yeah, his origin story basically about him being replaced, it hit. Like, it generally does hit. You do understand why he's Loki, an evil dictator. I don't think Lotso has an excuse to generally be as evil he was. Don't get me wrong. There was a beautiful scene, especially when he's like, she replaced us. Nah, she replaced you. Nah, she replaced all of us. And then, I don't know. It's just a funny scene to me. I still love it, especially the TikToks I just think are funny. But
What happened, Lotso? She replaced us. No, she only replaced you. She replaced all of us, bro. Bessie. That's all the damn crap. So you don't come on, bitch. Why you clown ass on?
But yeah, Lotso's origin story. Again, that's what made him such a best villain, this franchise. So because he actually has an origin story. Like, he actually has an origin story as to why he is the way he is. Was it his excuse? Definitely not, because other characters have gone through something similar, like Jessie. Like, Jessie was abandoned, but she never became like a straight up a-hole villain dictator of toys. But still, you understand why he's a villain, I guess. I also kind of low-key find him to be threatening. Like, there's the scene where he, like, when Buzz gets captured, and the way he actually plays nice at first, the way he's actually acting kind of nice at first, and then he immediately switches to evil Lotso. Whew, what a general! He's actually kind of threatening. He's massive too. Like, he's generally big compared to the other toys, so he's generally threatening. Like, he's actually like scared. Like, I'm actually scared of that guy. Like, I'm actually be scared of Lotso. Like, Lotso will actually be terrifying. Toy Story 3 is terrifying also. Like, there were so many like characters in this movie that as a kid I was generally scared of. The monkey, the baby, Lotso, the freaking clown doll. That's actually a terrifying design, boy. Like, people who are like have like clown phobia were probably scared of that thing, because that thing's actually kind of scary. Not gonna lie. Like, Toy Story 3 for some reason just decides to like almost be a horror movie at times. As a kid, that scene where I think it was Mr. Potato Head, or that scene where like the baby hears a noise and he's just walking to it. What a scary scene! Like, what an actual scary baby, bro. Like, I was genuinely terrified of that guy. The monkey is scary too. The way he just stares into like the screens and all that, it's terrifying. The clown doll terrifying. Even the freaking like walkie talkie, like the car phone thing. Even that thing was kind of scary. Like, I don't know why Toy Story like 3 generally feels like a horror movie at times, because there's just so many scary designs in this movie for absolutely like no reason. So yeah, Toy Story 3 is the best in the film. Again, there's so much I can really say about these first three movies that just haven't been said before, because these movies are all loved. It is hard to generally find someone that doesn't like, love, or adore these three movies. You can, like, you actually can, like, you generally cannot. I don't think I've ever seen anybody say they don't like Toy Story 1 to 3. I think everybody at least says they either love them or they like them. But I don't think I've ever seen or heard anybody say, I don't like that. Like, generally, like, no, I don't think I've ever heard that. Toy Story 4 and 5, yeah, I have. But so I have a lot more to say about those, honestly. So Toy Story 3 is still great, and the ending, of course, it's just such a beautiful ending, bro. Like, again, just seeing this now as an 18-year-old who just graduated high school, just seeing that, and it just makes me. I'm not lying, bro. I was. Oh, I was close to generally crying. Like, I was so close to crying. You know what made me cry? If it was the actual like last Toy Story movie. If that was the last Toy Story movie on my rewatch over like recently, I might have actually cried, because I would have known that this was the last ride. Basically, this was the last adventure with these characters. But I think knowing that it wasn't, and knowing that I've seen 4, and knowing that there's gonna be a 5th one, that's probably gonna be a 6th one, it made me not cry, because it's like, I'm still gonna see my boy Woody again. I'm still gonna see my boy Wuzz and my girl Jessie and my horse Bullseye and all that. Like, I'm still gonna see all of them, So that's probably why I didn't tear up this time. But I can only imagine again what it been like in that theater watching this for the first time. I just know everybody teared up in that theater. I just know that theater was filled with tears. But yeah, again, Toy Story 3 is magnificent. It's 10 out of 10. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. So now moving on to probably the most divisive Toy Story movie of all time.
The way I do is me and you, boy.
Toy Story 4. So I could generally make its own video on Toy Story 4. I might. So I'm not going to go way too depth into this. And it's also like, it's like almost 3 in the morning right now. So like, I actually kind of want to go sleep. So I'm not going to go too in depth into this, but I'm going to touch a little bit on it. This is probably the most divisive movie. I think you'll probably find more people who don't like 4 than you will for 5. I think the reason why is really just the ending. And for me, it's weird because I actually love the ending. I think for me, the ending made this movie go from like a 6, 7 out of 10 ending movie to 8 out of 10 movie. Because I think generally, like, if the ending was just really going back to the game and just the movie ending like that, it wouldn't have left any real impact, and it just would have been another adventure.
Boy, he's not lost. Not anymore. To infinity and beyond.
But the fact that Woody decided not to go back and decided to embrace his new purpose, I think for me that's what made this movie so good. Because it really, again, it brought back that it probably first circle from Toy Story 2. Of even then, and then Woody was questioning this. He was questioning his purpose about being a toy because he knew that Andy will one day grow up and abandon him and no longer play with him. And then in Toy Story 4, when Bonnie is kind of like neglecting Woody, and he realizes that, and it low-key hurts him a bit, and it's just like he rediscovers his purpose now. His mission of being a toy was complete with Andy, but now that he's with Bonnie, who no longer wants him. I think it would have been different if Bonnie still played with Woody. But the truth is that Woody probably would have been left in that closet, dusty and everything. So the fact that Woody realizes, hey, my mission now, my life's purpose is no longer to be a toy. It's no longer to be a toy to be played by children. My life's mission has changed. After Andy, that was my purpose, but that changed. That changed. Yes, they worked with Bonnie for a little bit, but after a bit, obviously, Bonnie just didn't feel like the need to play with Woody no more, obviously. So after that, which when Woody realizes, he rediscovers his purpose, that he doesn't just have to be a toy. He doesn't just have to be loyal to one person. Where his purpose now is to go out there and help toys who are lost. Help people like the way he helped the villain in this movie. Help them he helped her find an owner and made her happy. And now that's his purpose, to make other toys find their purpose and find their need for a child and make their child happy. That's Woody's new purpose now that he rediscovered with Bo. I love that. I actually love the fact that Toy Story 4 made Woody question that. Because throughout the whole movie, especially in 3, his thing is that he's loyal to his owner. He's loyal to Andy. He's loyal to Andy. But it's not until 4 that the movie questioned that. It questions whether he should just be a toy for the rest of his life and just take that, even if he's not going to be played with, even if he's just going to be in the closet forever. Should he go back to that, or should he now change his life's purpose and create his new purpose and abide in that and just live a new life, basically? And like a lot of people like to say that, Toy Story 4 is when Woody just goes with his girlfriend and leaves the game. That's not really what just happened. Yes, he loves Bo, but I don't think he would just left Bo, because in Toy Story 3, he was willing to leave his friends behind after to go back with Andy. He literally left Sunnyside to go back with Andy. That's how loyal he is to Andy, his owner, right? But with this, since Bonnie wasn't playing with Woody anymore, since Bonnie was probably going to neglect him and just leave him in the closet for basically the rest of his days, it's when that question of like everything that Woody has evolved, like everything that Woody has ever thought about being loyal to an owner and being played in Toy's purpose, is finally flipped. It's the movie where it questions that and it challenges it, and I really like that. I like that it did that. It took a risk, and I really like that it did that. I know why it didn't probably work for a lot of people, but for me, it really worked. It really did work. I would say this movie is also really funny. Like,
Okay, you know what? Leave that to us. We know exactly what to do. Where did you two come from? Well, we're not doing that. Yeah, you're kidding. Really? Okay. You just, all right. Well, what about the old plush rush? There you go.
the Key and Puyo characters were really funny. The plushies were really funny. And honestly, and Buzz, I actually do think was pretty funny in this movie. I know a lot of people say he was like dumbed down. I guess so, but like at the same time, I do think that he was pretty funny in this too. Buzz was generally kind of hilarious in this. Keanu Reeves' character was so funny too. Like this origin story was so funny to me.
Jump over the aisle to Gabby's cabinet, and you are the toy to do it.
No, no way. Negative, rejected. Please, Mr. Kaboom, this is really important. My kid. You have a kid? I have a kid.
Oh, no.
Rajon was so excited about me after Christmas. But when Rajon realized I couldn't jump as far as the toy in the commercial. Yeah, it's a commercial. It's not real. Rajon threw me away. It's not fair. Why, Rajon?
Especially when he makes that run, when he makes that jump, I just find that scene was hilarious to me. Yeah, this movie's also really funny. Like, this movie is also really, really, really funny.
Kaboom.
Maybe the second's funniest? I don't know, maybe. But Toy Story 2 is obviously just still the funniest. But yeah, this one's also really good. Like, this one's also really funny. I also really like the villain in this one. I know a lot of people don't like the villain, but I like the fact that this villain wasn't really a villain. She really was just a misunderstood. Like, she just wanted to finally have a kid to be played with him, to be loved. Like, she's old. Like, I think she was like more, maybe in the 50s as well, like Woody. But she just never had an owner. So the fact that now she's just been wanting an owner so bad that she thinks, like, again, she thinks, and also the fact that she like fixated on the idea that it should be this specific person, and only for her to realize that she did not like her back at all. I just threw her back to the box, and how that breaks her, only to find a new kid who she can be there for. I thought that was a really nice scene. And I know a lot of people don't like when Woody gave up his voice box. I actually didn't mind that, because I don't think he did it just for Bonnie. I think he kind of just did it for her. Like, he realized that she never had an owner, and all the memories that Woody has with Andy, and all the memories and all the love that he shared with Andy. I think Woody was like, I think in my mind, I think that Woody also gave up his voice box so that she could experience what Woody experienced, so that she could experience what he already experienced with an owner. I don't think he was just giving it up just to get Forky back for Bonnie. I think he was doing it for her as well, for her to get a chance to experience that. I also do think that Woody kind of made up his mind that he wanted to stay a bit earlier in the movie. I don't think that we got to the end and then he realized, I want to stay. No, I think that he made up his mind a little bit earlier than that. If I had to guess, it was probably around that moment when he rescued Forky. It was probably around either that moment when he gave up his voice box, or it was right after that when he helped her find an owner. I think it was around those moments where Woody realized that he doesn't want to be stuck on this one life of just being a toy. Like, he realizes there can be more to this life as a toy than just being played by a kid who kind of just neglects you or eventually abandons you or leaves you behind, right? There's more to life as a toy to that, and his was to just help other toys out there and help children. Like, that's his purpose now. I love that. Like, I genuinely like that a lot. And also, it felt like an ending too. Like, Toy Story 4 actually did also feel like a second ending. It felt like an ending to me. Like, it actually felt like an ending. Toy Story 5 does not feel like an ending. Toy Story 5 also does not. The Toy Story 5 definitely leaves it open after, like, we're definitely gonna make another one. But for Toy Story 4, it definitely felt like, yeah, we know we said Toy Story 3 was the last, Toy Story 4 is actually the last. It wasn't, but still, I think Toy Story 5 4 generally leaves it on a high note. Like it generally leaves it on a good note. You know, like if the Toy Story 3 was about moving on, Toy Story 4 is about rediscovering your purpose and challenging that. You know, challenging your purpose and changing that and just finding a new purpose. You know, I think that was also really nice. So overall, I like 4. I will honestly go as far as to say I might actually love 4, but it's just because I just love the ending so much. If the ending was not that and it was him going back, I think I probably would have it. I probably wouldn't like it. But just that ending really just it makes the film come full circle. It makes actually everything come full circle because it's something that Woody has been dealing with since Toy Story 2, and then we obviously saw 3, and then 4. It really just comes full circle for him finally deciding I'm going to choose something new for me, something new, a new life, a new purpose. You know, I love that. So honestly, Toy Story 4 a bit overrated, bro. Like I generally the only thing I kind of don't like about 4 was that Buzz. Who he was really sidelined in this one. Buzz generally almost does nothing in this movie other than press his button, and that's it. You know, I still love him in this movie, but he's definitely felt sidelined to me in this movie. He definitely felt a little bit sidelined. Overall, Toy Story 4 scored it. Now moving on to the final and newest one. Okay, spoilers, but Toy Story 5 was also really good. I'm gonna give this one also an 8 out of 10. I just really enjoyed it. I was having a good time watching Toy Story 5 in the theater. I was low key laughing at the jokes. There were a lot of moments that made me chuckle. I would really like Jesse's story. I think I really liked her story. I'm glad she was definitely Toy Story like the main character of this one because Woody has kind of been the main character for like 2 movies. He had Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 especially. Toy Story 4 is a Woody movie. Toy Story 2 was basically a Woody movie. Toy Story 1 was I would say it was a Woody and Buzz movie, but it was closer to a Woody movie. I would say, but it was definitely a 50-50 on that one. Toy Story 3, I feel like it was like everyone's movie now. Even though yes, Woody does have the biggest role, it didn't buzz, but it still felt like everybody just had a role to play in that one. Everybody. That Toy Story 3 felt like the Avengers movie. Like Toy Story 2 was like the Avengers, the end game of Toy Story, you know. So like everybody had something to do in that one. Everybody did something. Everybody was important. Everybody we follow everybody, you know. But Toy Story 4, Woody's the main character. Toy Story 5, Jesse's the main character. And I'm really glad they finally gave Jessie a bigger role. Because in Toy Story 4, she actually did not do a lot. She really just was not doing a lot. Because technically, she was technically replaced by Bo in a way, as Bo kind of took her spot in a way, I would say, of like the main trio. It was also, like, it was, like, trio of Toy Story is Woody, Buzz, and Jessie. But Bo kind of took her spot in Toy Story 4. But I'm glad they were back for Toy Story 5, just them three, and it was nice seeing this movie from Jesse's like her story, you know, and then tying it again back to Toy Story 2 of everything happened there. I really like that. But as much as I did like that, this is definitely the worst Toy Story movie. It really, really is. As worst sounds kind of bad because it makes it sound bad, but it's not bad. It's just out of all 5 of them, it's just the least best one. I think the reason for that is because the story is just so much more complicated than it should be. The story should not have been this complicated because I don't think the movie had like a focus on what the story should have been. It had on Jesse focus, right? The Jesse story was definitely the most focus, but I mean also over a film, it just very felt so complex that I feel like it either needed more time or you should have divided this into 2 films. You should have had Toy Story 5 either be solely a Jesse movie where it's just her story, or and then have Toy Story 6 be the toys versus tech. Because it's not. I'm not saying that like the Jesse story and the tech story like they fight each other. They don't. But what I'm saying is that the tech story just does not. It's not given enough time to actually be developed. Like it's only developed for like the first like 30 minutes, I would say, and then after that, it kind of just gets dropped. After that, it's just the Jesse movie, which I liked. But I was also really interested in the tech story, but they don't really dive too deep into that. Like they really, really don't. Like I really expected this movie to go into toys versus tech a lot deeper because I'm gonna be honest, because I think they would have made it so much better, I guess, but not better. It's just it would have been more, I don't know, focus. Because I don't know, I just wish it was more had part of the movie was more developed. Like it really just felt like they touch on it a little bit, but he don't go all the way there. You know, they like dip their feet into it, but they don't go all the way into it. And I really kind of didn't like that. I really did not like that much. I really, it's not again, it's not that it's bad because I think at the end of the day, you know, she gets her like little redemption arc and lily pad, which I guess is the villain of the movie. But I don't really want to say like she really wasn't a villain. She was just, I guess, the problem they had to deal with a little bit. Then she got to redeem stuff. So I don't know. I just wish the movie delved way deeper into that about Toy Story. I just wish they kind of did. But what can you say? What can you do? I would say that this also feels like the most generic. I don't know if generic is the right word. Pixar or Toy Story movie because I don't know. I do think that it feels like, yeah, you definitely feel that this one was made just because you know they can and they know it's gonna make money. You feel that, but it's still really good because of Jesse's story. You know, Jesse's story really made this movie really, really good. It's for me an 8 out of 10. That's what Jesse's story really worked in this one. But it's just that everything else did not work as much. Like Woody, I love Woody. But Woody did not have to be in this movie. Woody actually did not have to be in this movie at all. He was only in it because they know that you can't market a Toy Story movie without Woody. They know you can't have a Toy Story movie without Woody because then it's probably not going to make $1 billion. So like obviously he had to be in it somehow. But man, they really just they could have found something better for him to do because he really just is here. Like generally, like, who invited, bro? Like he was just there. You can take away Woody from this movie, and absolutely, literally nothing changes. I don't think nothing changes at all. And honestly, I think it could have been even better if Woody was in it because it would have given more time for the tech story or more time for other characters. You know, I'm not saying I'm not happy he's in it. I'm glad he's in it because obviously it's a Toy Story movie. You can't have a Toy Story movie without Woody. But I just can't help but feel also that his ending in 4 was really good. So I think that most they probably should just give him a cameo. I think he should have just had like 1 or 2 scenes and that's it. But having him just scattered out throughout the movie, I don't think it works as much as he doesn't really do a lot. He's just there. Like, he really is just there. Like, no joke, he really is just there. Like, he's like that one meme. Like, he's just there. And I just don't know if that was the best decision because I think that I think one, it would have shown the balls on them to not have a Woody movie, to not have Woody in this movie, and have that ending he had in 4 stay because that was a perfect ending. But then two is like it would have also just given more time for the characters. But at the same time, listen, it's not that I'm glad he was in it, but I just can't help but feel that he was just didn't do much. Talking about characters that basically almost didn't do much. The Buzz Lightyear characters. At first, I was thinking, why are we like basically going on a little side plot, little side mission for these Buzz Lightyear characters? But at the end, I really liked them. I thought they were really funny. I thought they were nice. They were cool. Especially that scene where they all start falling like drones. Oh, that was such a beautiful callback. Like the way Woody's like, no way, and then Buzz like, yes way. That was so cool. Then flying around like that whole, it just brought it full circle from Toy Story 1 about how Buzz can fly, and now he can technically, now they can fly. No, but then Buzz Lightyear's must cost like crazy. They can do all that in that universe. They must be like probably in the thousands of dollars. Like it has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It's a toy in itself, and it can fly like a drone. Oof, those Buzz Lightyear figures must be expensive, bro. But they were really cool. They were really dope. I won't lie though. I remember them being like apparently they might have been the villains. Like they were going to be the villains. I don't know what that said, but I kind of am glad they weren't. But I still can't help. A part of me can't help but feel they would have been cool villains. They would have been dope villains. Like they would have been kind of cool. It would have been kind of cool seeing them as villains. But yeah, I'm glad they weren't because they're really nice. There's a scene I really like too when one of them gets picked up with a kid, and all the Buzz Lightyears get ready to rescue him, and then they see him, and he's low-key happy. Like he's low-key chill. Like that look of like we're good. I'm good. That was such a beautiful scene because the kid was holding on to him. He was telling a bedtime story. It was such a nice scene, man. Like what a beautiful scene that was. It's a beautiful scene. Talking about beautiful scenes, the scene where Jessie realized how much she actually meant to Emily. It was a really beautiful scene, a really nice scene too. Like the fact that she named her kid after her, and Jessie realizing, wow, I actually didn't mean that much to her after years of thinking that she didn't matter to her after she just like basically abandoned her. It was a nice scene just seeing that of like, yeah, well, I actually didn't mean that much to her. That was a really nice scene. I really like that scene. That was beautiful. Honestly, Toy Story movies just give you a lot of beautiful scenes. But another part I really liked about 5 was Bonnie. I'm gonna be honest. Bonnie doesn't really feel like a character in 3 and 4. Like in 3, she's just kind of there. She's just kind of she serves the purpose as being the person who gets any toys. And in 4, she doesn't really do a lot either. But I think 5 was the one that actually gave Bonnie something to do, is something to struggle with the iPad and the fact that she can't make friends, which is something which has been hinted at since 3. So the fact that they took something for 3, the fact that Bonnie can't make friends, even a little bit before, and just actually made a movie on that. And like she actually just generally can't make friends because she still plays with toys. She doesn't have an iPad and all that. And how like the movie, we get the movie off of that. I really like that. I like Bonnie in this movie. Bonnie was really good in this movie. I actually like she kind of goes to a little bit of an arc and actually goes through something. And the fact that her freaking evil friends were bullying her, she did not deserve that, by the way. Just make you feel bad for her. Like, why is she getting made fun of for being like? I think she's like 8 in this movie. So like, why are they making fun of her for playing with toys, bro? Like, dude, I just told you guys. I literally just said that I stopped playing with toys when I was like 16, bro. And honestly, I still want to buy toys. The only thing is, it's low-key kind of expensive. Like those Marvel Legends, bro. Those are the main toys I have. I remember in 2017, I had a $100 bill and I bought a Marvel Legend. They cost like $19. Their Marvel Legends are like 25, 27, 30, $40 now. They cost a ton now, bro. They're not as cheap as they used to be. Loki, that sucks. But yeah, Bonnie was really good in this movie. Jessie was awesome, and Buzz I feel like was given a lot to do here. And a lot of people like to say that Buzz was not dumbed down, but like Buzz was made weak in this movie because throughout the whole movie he's simping over Jessie. I don't know how people think that. I guess, bro. Like he loves Jessie. Like of course he's gonna act a little foolish around her. Like he loves her. Especially like I feel like a lot of people when they like someone, they act a little bit like that. Even I can relate to that. Like whenever you just like someone, you just like feel a little bit foolish. You just act dumb sometimes. Like it's just the way it is. Like I like that about Buzz. I like that the way it made him feel a little bit relatable to me. Like I like the fact that he was like that. I mean, sure, everybody nice. Like I guess I can see the people who want to see him to be like a cold, just a James Bond type who just gets the girl. But I like the fact that it was like since it was Jesse's movie, Buzz was the one over he was over Jesse. So I like that Buzz was like that, and they both love each other. So it's like it doesn't matter, bro. Like who generally cares? Who's generally mad that Buzz Lightyear was in love with Jesse? Who is generally getting mad about that, bro? Like generally, I don't know, bro. People on the internet just be like crazy, rage bait and whatever. I don't know any like I don't know why you're generally mad about that. Like why are you mad at that? Like why are you mad about that? There's nothing to be mad about. But yeah, and the scene where like Buzz is like, our Circus, our father, by the way, this Buzz Lightyear good. No, like look, that scene was really funny. That was such a funny scene. Yeah, overall, listen, there's a lot more I could say about Toy Story 5. I'll probably make a video on its own. I probably have to watch it a couple more times though. So I'm gonna send this plus. I'm gonna rewatch it a couple times. But overall, it's another solid entry. It's another really good entry. It's a really good entry. It's another adventure in the Toy Story universe, on the Toy Story franchise. Another adventure. And I liked it. I really did. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I think it's an 8 out of 10. I didn't love it, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, there's honestly nothing more I can say about it. So yeah, now moving on to where they could possibly go after this. So unlike Toy Story 4 and 3, Toy Story 5 actually doesn't have it doesn't feel like a definitive ending. Toy Story 3 definitely felt like that. Even Toy Story 4 felt like Woody's ending. So Toy Story 5 though doesn't end in a way of like, oh, that's the end. That's the last Toy Story 5. That's the last Toy Story movie. Toy Story 4 and 3 definitely felt that way for me. But Toy Story 5 doesn't. And if anything, leaving this movie, I know there's gonna be a sixth one. Not just like, you just leave this movie and you expect, yeah, in 8 years, in 2025, bro, I'm there for Toy Story 6. You leave the movie expecting that. So we're definitely gonna get a Toy Story 6. So we're definitely gonna finish off the Bond trilogy, which I think is good. This I think it's good. I think they should make another one. This is the first time when I actually think they should make another one because this they just didn't feel like an ending, you know. So they definitely should make another one. But the question just becomes, okay, what's the next one gonna be about? Because I feel like you kind of did just follow your biggest trick with Toy Story with having it be based on tech versus toys. You kind of, that was, if you ask me, that could have been your last movie. It could have been. But the thing is, this movie doesn't feel like an ending, so it's definitely not the last one. But the question really becomes now, what do you do now? I generally don't know where you go from here. I do feel like we have room for one more story in this Bonnie trilogy and finish out the trilogy. I think that you can do it, but it really becomes, what is that? Like, what do you do? Like, generally, what do you do? You can't have you can have it be Woody movie again, because as much as I love Woody, Toy Story 4 was the Woody movie. I think it had like the perfect character arc for Woody. So you can't do another movie where Woody questions his purpose. Woody doesn't want to be a toy, or Woody wants to be back to be a toy. No, you can't do that. You've done that multiple times now. You just did your Jesse movie with Toy Story 5, and it was really good, so that worked there. But now I feel like it's time for that Buzz movie. I feel like if you are gonna make a sixth one, I feel like you have to give this one to Buzz, which I hope they do. Buzz technically hasn't had his own movie since first, but even then, that was also a Woody movie. Like, I don't think, as much as a big character Buzz is in these movies, he's never been the main protagonist in any of them. Like, you can't really definitively say either the five Toy Story movies that was a Buzz Lightyear movie. That Buzz Lightyear movie does not count. Because that is not Buzz Lightyear. That is not him, bro. That is not him. Okay, we don't count. We don't talk about that. But out of the five Toy Story movies, the only one you could really say that has been a Buzz Lightyear movie is the first one. But even then, that really was a Buzz Lightyear and Woody movie. It really was. Toy Story 2, again, it definitely, well, Buzz is definitely in it, and we even got two Buzzes in it. But even then, to me, that felt more like a Woody movie than it did a Buzz movie. You know, because it felt like just a little bit more like a Woody movie than it did a Buzz movie. Buzz was still great in it, but it still felt more like a Woody movie. Toy Story 3 felt like, again, the Avengers movies. Like, it felt like an Avengers movie for like the end. It felt like the comeback ending. So in Buzz is literally, he literally goes unconscious for like 30 minutes. Where he enters like uh, uh, Army Space Ranger mode, and then he turns into Spanish mode. So he's unconscious for a little bit of that movie. So he's definitely not, that Toy Story 3 is not a Buzz Lightyear movie, obviously. But Toy Story 3 is a Toy Story movie. But Toy Story 4 is a Woody movie. Like, definitely, that is a Woody movie. That is Toy Story 4, Woody the movie. Toy Story 5 is Toy Story 5, the Jesse the movie. You can definitely say that about 4 and 5, that those were definitely a Woody and a Jesse movie. And now Toy Story 6 has to be our Buzz Lightyear movie. Because obviously, if Jesse and Buzz and Woody are your main trio, you've already given them two of them a movie. Now it's time that we end it off with Buzz. I haven't given Buzz the last, hopefully, what will be the last Toy Story movie, kind of does bring in first circle ever since the first one. Buzz in the first movie was the new toy. You know, he was a new toy. He was the one that had the big arc in that movie, which is weird. Like, he's the one that had the big arc in that movie, but even then, I still don't call it a Buzz Lightyear movie because it really is a Buzz Lightyear movie. Because even Woody goes to his own arc too. So it's not, he's not the main center. So it's not like, but so it's not Buzz Lightyear. Even though, yeah, he does have the base arc, it's not Buzz Lightyear the movie the way Toy Story 5 is Jesse the movie or Toy Story 4 is Woody the movie. You know, so Toy Story 6 has to be Buzz Lightyear the movie. The only thing is, though, it's just that, what story can you tell? Where do you generally go now? You've already told the story about moving on, so you can't do another story where Bonnie is now growing up and she's not playing with toys and she's gonna abandon you, she's gonna go to college or whatever. You already did that with Andy. You can't do a movie where one of the toys, or was it Woody or Buzz, question their purpose about being a toy and then finds a new purpose. You already did that. You can't do one about toys versus tech, and you can't do one about Jesse anymore because you already did that. You already did Toy Story 5. That was bad. You can't do one with one of the characters. You know, I was thinking about Toy Story 6 being like, you know, the last version of Toy Story 3 that we follow Buzz, you know, getting separated. He can't send to a factory, and then the crew has to go rescue him. And I've like seen videos on that, and it actually does sound pretty good to me. But the thing is that you already did something similar with Toy Story 2. So we're basically going to be repeating Toy Story 2 just with Buzz instead of Woody. I think that could work, but that being your last Toy Story movie, being like a version of Toy Story 2, I don't know if I like that. You know, if you have to do something new. So I generally don't know what you can do with a new Toy Story movie. All I know is that I want Buzz to be a main lead, and I want Woody and Jesse to be our second leads, and then I want the other toys to have a big role in it. That's all I really know that I want. But I just don't know where you can take the story. Like, what can the story possibly be? I don't know. You know what, Toy Story 5, I actually, it makes sense why they made another one, because they had a way in with the tech stuff, and how nowadays kids just play with their iPads. So they had a way in with that. But for Toy Story 6, you always did that. What do you do now? What could you possibly do now? Like, actually, like, what's generally gonna happen for Toy Story 6? I don't know. I generally don't know. And also, Toy Story 6 has to be the last one. So you actually have to end it on a perfect note. You actually have to do something that ends it in a perfect way of this Bond trilogy. Not just the Bond trilogy, but the franchise. Toy Story, by the time we get to Toy Story 6, Toy Story has been, and honestly right now, Toy Story is arguably the best franchise of all time. There is no other franchise that can deliver 5 films like this, straight bangers, all of them. No other franchise has done this. No other franchise has absolute banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. No other franchise has it like Toy Story. No other franchise has emotion like Toy Story. So you have to have that sixth one where you end off the franchise on the highest note possible. Maybe even higher than 3. I don't think that's possible, but you have to try. You generally have to do something incredible with Toy Story 6. No joke, you actually have to do something insane. Like, you generally have to do something that's never been done before, that generally challenges everybody and makes everybody cry, and it makes people like think about, and it makes people think that Toy Story 5, 4, and 5 were worth it for 6. You know, it generally has to do a lot. So I hope for Toy Story 6, or whenever that comes out, I hope it's not only the best in the franchise, which honestly I don't think it will be, but at least the second best. I hope that it generally finishes off this franchise, which has been a great franchise, and generally ends it on the best note possible. But I really just don't know what you can do. Do you bring Andy back? No, I don't think you bring Andy back. I know a lot of people who want like the toys to go to Andy's kid. That would have been nice if it was Toy Story 3. But now we had 4, and now we had 5. You can't do that no more. This would just feel like you're trying to. It just feels like you're trying to do too much of that. But it just feels like. It just feels like, I don't know. It just feels a bit. I don't know, outdated. It just feels. I don't know. It just feels cheap. It feels cheap by now. Like by now, it generally kind of feels kind of cheap. So I don't think you can do that. Maybe they could make it work, but I don't know if you can do that. But I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what can happen? All I know is that, well, in 10 years when Toy Story 6 comes out, I'll be on day one. So that's all. That's all I know. All right. It is now officially 3 a.m. I have been talking about for Toy Story for like almost 2 hours, so I'm gonna go to sleep now, and I'm gonna edit this video tomorrow. Yeah, the Toy Story franchise is the greatest franchise of all time. That is all I wanted to say. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for everything, and God bless.